Whenever the woman looked at the painting, she felt as if the eyes of the woman inside it kept following her. She grew frightened, for there was something far from ordinary about the painting. It carried a strange mixture of fear and a haunting magical presence. The butler told her that the painting's first owner was a collector who had murdered his entire family. After his death, a letter was discovered beneath the painting, stating that it must be returned to its true creator, and that creator was none other than the woman's own father, who had hanged himself shortly after completing the work. Now the painting was in her possession. The butler mentioned that a wealthy man wanted to buy it, but a crack had appeared on the canvas. He suggested that his son, who was a painter, could restore it. One day, the woman's daughter suddenly found a red handkerchief. The housemaid grew terrified upon seeing it. That very night, the maid carried the handkerchief to a hut on the hill. Sitting by a tree, she chanted strange incantations and tied the cloth. Just then, she noticed a hand stretching out of a nearby window. Terrified, she tried to flee, but the red handkerchief coiled around her feet, binding her tightly. The next morning, the woman's daughter mysteriously disappeared. Since the maid was blind, she could not understand what had happened. In panic, the woman rushed to the studio where the painting was kept. There, the white cloth covering it began to slowly rise on its own. Then, instead of falling aside, it lunged straight at her. She barely escaped and fled into the forest to search for her daughter. Suddenly, a young painter appeared, bringing her daughter back. He claimed to have found her wandering in the woods. The little girl told her mother that she had seen a sister in the forest, carrying a red handkerchief and speaking in a sweet voice. The woman refused to believe her, since no one else lived in that area. She dismissed it as a dream. The next day, while restoring the painting, the painter noticed something strange hidden inside the crack, as if someone was watching him. The woman grew terrified and begged him to stop, but he widened the crack further. At once, the terrifying face of the collector emerged from the painting. His eyes still seemed horrifyingly alive. The painter insisted they leave at once. They set off, but their car broke down on the way. The daughter suddenly pointed towards the distance, claiming she saw someone approaching, then vanished in an instant. Desperate, the woman ran outside to search for her, but the same red handkerchief wrapped itself around her feet and dragged her into the forest. She was pulled across the ground until she reached an old hut where her daughter's voice echoed from within.